Chode House.
It used to be Zaxby's, but lately that's just ugh.
I don't like their
It's just
sauces
it's
either.
just
So
lame. Oh,
for
I
me, it's
love their sauces.
eh.
Oh, the Thousand Island sauce.
Honestly, the
Oh, the
my
hot
favorite
sauce.
one of my favorite sauces
Oh,
at a chain is Buffalo Wild Wings. I just don't like their meat. I used to always say back in the day during high school and college, if I
Hmm.
could get like the meat from the Hooters wings, at least at the time, I haven't been there in a while. I hated their sauce, but I liked their meat. If I could take the meat from their wings and do the sauce from Buffalo, that'd be my
Hmm.
favorite like fast food wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't been to Hooters in a long time. Last time I went there, like I was kidding. I just lost my appetite.
What's wrong, man? The sights put you off.
It's not exactly what it used to be, you know. Um, diversity hires.
Did you get the dude waiter? Is that what it is?
There's some busted up looking
He come
women
out
that
with his
work there.
bulge.
it wasn't a dude, but whew, boy,
Might as well have been.
might as well be, yeah. Tuscaloosa dumplings. That's what.
Lord of mercy.
That's her nickname.
Oh me.
Fucking what?
I didn't know
Tuscaloosa
they had
dumplings.
nicknames at Hooters.
Oh, that's what I. No, that's not what they called her. That was like.
He's fully bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah,
He's like,
I'm-
oh,
I'm
I
like-
didn't know about that.
Oh damn! They got name
Yeah.
tags that say that.
You got me, man. I'm fucking gullible as shit. I
No.
don't know why y'all don't know this about me yet.
But that's what early Kyler told was telling Rusty to go to get like for his first his first night out with a woman. Go get him some Tuscaloosa dumplings.
Oh my. What'd that turn out to be?
I mean, it's just a big lady. That's all it really is. She
Like his
doesn't-
mom?
She
A
doesn't have to
plus-size
be
female.
for
Like
plus
his
size
mom
female,
big?
sorry.
Like that Landwell, literally beached?
She was enormous.
Mm-hmm.
And how?
It's her
Come
name.
here, Early. Come here. I want to give you a kiss. She just, every breath sounded like her last.
Right. They had one episode. It was kind of like the backstory behind how early in that Crystal, was that her name?
Oh, that sounds right.
But anyways, he was in a relationship with her. Then the sheriff came along and bought her like a Fitbit or something. She was like, "Oh boy, I'm going to be a jogger," and they fell in love after that.
Wrong skin color for that, I think.
Ooh.
Oh. So before we get started, I want to say that I don't know. I guess it's relevant. Never mind. Continue. It's not on topic, but something I want to say. Okay. I was gonna say I told Dee this already, but I started listening to a JRE. I'm skipping around in it. It's got General H.R. McMaster on it. He was apparently I recognize the name, didn't know what he did. He's apparently the national security advisor for 2 years under Trump.
Yeah.
And among other things, he's been in a bunch of wars and blah blah blah. He's shocker. He's got a new book out, so
He's on the trail.
yeah, he's what
He's
most
on
of
the-
Joe's guests are. He's got a book, so but he has a couple of he has a more nuanced viewpoint, I guess, than some of the other political or military guests that I've personally seen on Joe's podcast. Keeping in mind, I did take like a 3-year break, so who knows? Maybe this is normal now. But they go into a lot of detail about or so far, I'm not finished the podcast, but spent a lot of time talking about China and their how they're cornering the supply chain, the advantages they tried to get over us and every
Right.
other country.
Right.
What I thought was interesting though was he talked about a couple people he worked with in Trump's administration that he really liked. I can't remember their names. One of them was the leader of. They had a team literally called the China team that Trump made, and this guy was the leader of the China team. Apparently, he was a former analyst from the FBI. Pretty smart guy. But what struck me was he talked about that. Said it was he had pluses and minuses to say, but he was like they were talking about the economy and the supply chain. And Joe was like, yeah, it's just we're not going to recover and blah blah blah. And Biden, he was like, yeah, actually, I think there's this one thing Biden's admin's doing good. He named this commerce lady. Let me Google.
I'm about to say, please don't say supply chain, because I'm about to write this dude completely off if you say supply
Raimondo.
chain.
Yeah, Gina Raimondo, United States Secretary of Commerce. I think you should listen to at least skip around in it. Listen to the podcast. He seems.
I'll listen to the whole thing. I don't have nothing against Mr. McMaster.
No, I shouldn't. I mean, I didn't say you had something against him, but it's a long podcast, so I was just gonna say at least listen to it because he seems balanced. I like finding people in these. I'm really interested, like in when there's military or guests about topics that I'm interested in, but I'm ignorant about. I think that's for any podcast. I think that's super cool. But a lot of times they're just super biased, and not just the podcast, not just Joe's guests. This goes anywhere, but they got their agenda. They're pushing something, and this guy seems pretty. I don't know. He puts on a good front.
He's obviously selling a book, so that's one thing. But it might be a good book because it's a just the facts, ma'am, sort of thing, right? It's like, this is what I've seen, this is what I experienced, this is my life. You might find it interesting.
He did give the military answer that kind of I think it's a cop out answer, but the military because Joe's like, I think I've heard you say you while you were acting or something at some point you decided not to vote because you wanted to be unbiased. He's like, well, when I was serving an advisor, it's not about whether I like the president or not. I have to. He recited that creed, the uphold the Constitution and the ideals and the blah blah blah. I don't remember, but he's like, that's what I'm doing. It's irrelevant who's in office, he, she, Democrat, Republican. I can hate them, but I still got to do my best.
Right, and that's what the military is supposed to be, apolitical.
Yep.
But that's also based on the fact that your government is sane. So
I'm not. I don't want to derail. I don't want to talk politics tonight. I think y'all would like the podcast. I find it interesting so far.
Yeah.
He has an interesting idea about Chinese students too. So there's the brain drain thing, right? Where China sends a lot of kids over here. They study at the best universities. They pay full price, so universities love them. But then they go back home, right? And they have. Maybe they spy, maybe they don't. Even if they don't spy, they've still got a great education, and they bring it back to China.
Right, and they go teach for like 4 years or 6 years or whatever.
This guy had an idea. I've not heard this proposed, and he did heavily caveat it and go, "This would require a lot of tweaking. Don't yell at me." But he was like, if you got these people coming over and these students, and you have some kind of vetting, you need some kind of vetting program for it. Attach a green card to their diploma, and say, "Stay here and work for us. Don't go back home. You're great. You're super smart. Stay here. Work for us."
They would have to be exceptional.
Well, sure. He didn't go into detail, and like I just said, he immediately said this requires a lot of thought.
Yeah, a lot of thought, because it's like, man, you don't understand. He does understand. He knows why it requires a lot of thought.
Well, yeah, they're ideologues, and they're brainwashed. Yeah, and he's
they'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll come to your best school, and we'll come to your greatest corporations and get into all of that. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of that, but I do think it's something to at least think about. Like when you have systems that aren't working, unless your answer is just cut it off, which I actually also like that he doesn't think that's a good solution, to just saying no and completely cutting ties and telling. He was talking about, he was applauding companies that are looking for different places to manufacture, like Taiwan Semiconductors opening a shop in Arizona. What's that other one? Not Westinghouse. Foxconn is opening a shop in Austin. I think it's Foxconn. Two big semiconductor companies, one in Taiwan and one in China, are opening manufacturing facilities here. He's like, that's great. I love it. But he was talking about how we need to keep encouraging U.S. companies to not rely on China and to bring it home. But he said also people who think that the answer is bring everything back here, they're naive. That's not that shouldn't be the goal, and that's not the goal. And he gave an example of another company who took their offices out of China and moved it to Malaysia, I think it was, or Indonesia. Yeah. He's like, the important thing you need to do is stop relying so much on this country who has a stranglehold on XYZ and who has these very obvious bad motives. They don't even try to hide it. They are open about it.
Right.
It's not about, it doesn't all have to come back to America. He said a single point of failure is bad no matter how you slice it. It's not about bringing it all here. Yes. It's about spreading it out and having it be in multiple places. And yeah, that sounds like a duh, but I have not heard on either side of the political spectrum anyone that says anything like this. All they say is America. Right. That's it.
I mean, that's the first great. My preference. But... That's my preference, of course, right? My preference is, bring it back. If it makes sense. If it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever, okay, well, can you take it somewhere other than China? Let's talk about that. Because, I mean, these people are literally out to get us. No joke. I mean, they say it. They're very open about it, like you said. Right. So just go somewhere else. There's bound to be something. I mean, hell, look at Africa. There's bound to be something there. Lord knows they're struggling. So
sure, a lot of places, a lot of opportunity. Give it a listen. General McMaster, whatever, H.R. McMaster. It's brand new. Came out like a week ago.
Dig it. I'll do it.
Yep. Onto a lighter subject. Talking about Florida Man tonight, right, sir?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Tonight is the Florida Man episode. And for listeners, if you don't know about Florida Man, he is possibly the worst superhero of all time. He has he does have some special powers, though. I got to thinking about this last night. I was like, man, if Florida Man was really a superhero, what would his powers be? Well, one, he would be able to shapeshift, because I've seen several pictures of Florida Man, and none of them look alike. I haven't found any repeat offenders, although I'm sure they exist.
They have commonalities, though. They all have that meth face.
They all have the meth face, for sure.
Absolute psychos.
Yeah, I guess he's able to shapeshift a little bit, but not too much. And that's how he keeps getting back on the streets and, getting in another crazy ass situation. And I guess that's really about it. I think
what's the actual origin of it, though? How did it? Isn't it something about how, like, the papers and the news in Florida?
Yeah, it always starts with Florida Man.
Well, they got some sort of law that says you can't say their name.
Oh, is that it?
You will say Florida Man, or Florida Woman.
I haven't heard, that makes sense. I guess I've heard that in other states too. I mean, it's always been the kind of thing like, man from Chattanooga, or man from XYZ, or man from Raleigh, Durham, or man from Austin, Texas, or man from this and this. So that's where I kind of thought it came from. It's just like that old school reporting style. Maybe in Florida specifically, they tie it with, there's a law that says that's what they have to do. I first started hearing about it in like the late 2000s, like 2007, 2008, I guess, around then. I know I was in college when I first started seeing it blow up. But
yeah,
I don't know about the origin. I did want to read a couple of my favorite headlines, and these are just like fucking BuzzFeed style lists. Not literally from BuzzFeed, because I refuse to patronize that cesspool piece of shit. But they're headlines, right? And there's no context, so I can't really give you much. But just I wanted to read off a couple, okay? So October 13th, 2014.
You go first.
Florida man was arrested.
Wait. Before you do that, have y'all heard of the Florida Man Challenge?
No,
I haven't.
So, go into a search engine, whichever one you want to use, type in your birthday, month and day, and then type Florida Man. And you're supposed to. The challenge is you find the most ridiculous Florida man story that occurred on your birthday, and you share that out.
All right,
That's
wait.
the Florida man
All right, say it
challenge.
again.
Okay.
What's the formula?
Just your birthday, not year, and Florida
Okay.
man.
So month, day, and then Florida Man. I've
Yeah,
got mine
yeah.
pulled up. This is a I got it. I'll do a trio, right? Because there's
Okay.
two I wanted to there's a bunch, but I'll pick two that I wanted to share, and then I'll
Yeah.
share mine last, right? So
Okay.
there's one from 2014. It just simply says Florida man once arrested for fighting drag queen with tiki torch now runs for mayor.
And wins.
Yeah. And then there's another one. This is from 2015, and there's a picture that accompanies it. And it says Florida man suspected of using private plane to draw giant radar penis. And sure enough, this man got in a plane, and his flight path draws a penis over Lakeland, Florida.
My man.
And then to culminate that, if I'm doing the challenge, the first result I get was Florida man says the 3 syringes found in his rectum were not his.
Whoa, wait.
That's actually one of mine.
He had syringes
That
in
came
his
across.
rectum?
I didn't read the story. I just read so this is just a headline.
Holy old fuck. Could you
Hold on.
imagine?
So a Clearwater, Florida man attempts a bold strategy. Deputies discover syringes in his rectum when he was being booked. He said they're not mine.
They're not mine.
Yeah, so it doesn't really tell a lot. He's apparently been in trouble with the law. He's in his 40s. Yeah, so he's at the jail, and they patch you down, and they always give you that speech. I know this because of all the shitty reality shows I watch with my wife. But when you get to the jail, they pat you down and try to find it, but then they're like, "Hey, this is your last chance. If you own up to it now, that's fine. But if you take that into jail, it's a felony, no matter what it is. Like if you cross this threshold, even if it's a dusting of marijuana, it is now a felony. You give it up now, it's either no charge or it's XYZ. Like they give you that final chance, right?" And apparently
Yeah.
the syringes came out. He was like, "They're not mine." Okay.
I don't know who put
out.
him there.
They came out.
Well, they removed him from his rectum, is what it says.
Oh, okay. They removed
I mean,
him. I thought it was
yeah.
like he just relaxed and a couple of syringes fell out of his butthole.
Well, it doesn't go into graphic detail and say they fisted him and removed the syringes, but I imagine it was when because they make you bend over and like spread your cheeks, right, and cough. Yeah. So I imagine it was that.
Lord mercy. You won't believe what mine came up with.
Please go, D. Yeah, go.
Let's see here. Let me scroll back up to the top because where is it? He had sex with a tree. Yep. He fucked a tree.
I guess like one of those knots, those holes, like a squirrel hole maybe or an owl hole.
Sure, why not?
What does the knot look like?
Of the doubt.
That's what I want to know. What does the tree look like?
We don't have a description of the arbor in question here. It remains a mystery. But he then ran off into the neighborhood screaming about how he was God and Thor at the same time.
That is a powerful dude.
Well, he is
God
Florida
and
man.
Thor at the same time. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he is Florida man.
He is Florida man.
What about yours, Ethan? What's your version of this challenge? I know you said you got something similar to mine, but
oh no! I came across that article that you had mentioned, and about the syringes being up the butt. It's like, no, that's not mine. But I mean, really, I know possession. What do they say? Possession is 9/10 the law. But I mean, maybe they weren't his. If he's just saying they're not mine, I just have them on me.
So you think he's doing the "well, actually" defense, like just being super pedantic?
Yeah, well, actually,
I was just holding them.
Yeah, we were
going.
It's
possible.
Yeah, I mean that's always possible. The one that was my Florida Man challenge was the only one that I was able to find that was even remotely bizarre was a story about this guy who was a Florida. I'm sorry, not just a guy.
He's not
It was
just
a Florida.
a
It was a Florida man.
guy.
Florida man was arrested for throwing a pizza at his father after his father revealed to him that he delivered him at birth. And that's it.
What?
End of story. I guess maybe
It just stops there. It gives no more detail.
No, not really. I mean, I guess that there was, he considered that like assault. Like, I don't know if it was.
What? All right. So the definition of delivered
pizza
here.
Yeah.
Is it?
Or so it actually doesn't even say that he delivered him. It just says that he was there when he was born, like at the birth.
Is this the pizza pun? A delivery pun?
What?
Well, he threw a pizza at him when he said, "I delivered you."
Why can't it be both?
Yeah, why can't it be both?
I know, that's what I'm saying. What if Florida man thought he was pulling off a hilarious prank with a nice little pun wrapped up in a bow tie? It's like, I'm gonna hit this guy in the face with a pizza pie and say, delivery's free, motherfucker. Slap it in his face or some shit.
That'd be hilarious, honestly.
Oh, actually, no. I've got a better one. I have a better
no.
one. Okay. Florida man, January 6th. Florida police announced that a thief broke into a house last week that was let's see. I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. So the incident took place in a house in Bradenton. According to police information, in the incident before Christmas night, apparently he was captured after Christmas and something had happened before. This article is very fucked up reading it. But apparently a Florida man snuck into someone's house, and he was wanting to suck the guy's toes.
Oh, me.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that weird? I saw this one somewhere else. Florida man says burglar broke into his home, sucked on his toes, and then left. So
Jesus fuck.
How drunk were both these individuals?
The suspect then declared that he had entered the home to suck toes. That's all he said.
I'm not here to steal from you. I'm here to suck toes.
I'm here to suck toes
and chew bubblegum, but I'm all out of bubblegum.
So here's a bet. This is the better story. After the pair of people fought, the suspect broke a window and smashed the resident's car windshield before fleeing. This is so fucked. I don't understand what is going on.
So it's fitting that the article you found is written in such a way that it's barely understandable, but it's written about Florida.
It really is.
So
it's almost like
Florida man has like a journalist in his pocket to write these stories. Pays in his meth.
Florida man journalist.
I feel like at this point, the journalists writing these are like, oh, we're going to make this as vague and bizarre as possible.
Yeah. I'm sure they.
We're not going to give critical details that may add some context and explanation. No, fuck that. Yeah. It's just going to be the most obscure, just the facts, but we're just the worst facts of the situation.
Right. Well, I'm sure they enjoy some clicks from these.
Yeah, you have to think about the quality of journalists who gets the assignment to write about Florida man. This is not a Pulitzer Prize winner. Okay. This is a dude that has a blog that gets one click a year. So he's not.
What if it's a hazing thing for media, for journalists, companies, or firms or whatever? It's like, you gotta go do your Florida man story.
Interns, you're on Florida man.
You're right.
Yeah, maybe that's how, like BuzzFeed, they have those lists everybody hates.
Yeah.
Again, let's just say it together. Fuck BuzzFeed. So it's like
Fuck BuzzFeed.
if you want to graduate to the big list of 5 things you won't believe, you got to
Suck
write
my
about Florida
dick.
Man. I need
Oh,
1,000
wait.
words
Oh,
on
wait.
Florida Man.
Okay. So that's fine.
And suck my dick.
And
God.
suck my dick.
5 reasons you should suck my dick to get a promotion.
Number 4 will
Josh's
blow
fluke is entered the
you
chat.
away.
Oh Lord. Yeah, there you go. Number 4 will blow you away. Wait until you get a load of number 5.
God almighty.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
puns.
I think BuzzFeed is the haze.
Just working there in general.
Just working there in general.
Just in general, if you're
Yeah.
at BuzzFeed, you're just like, ugh, okay, I got to get this out of the way.
Relentlessly. It's
I
like,
mean, I would buy that, right? It's a job to pay the bills. I don't think anyone goes there because they think they're
right.
I don't think anyone there has those, pie in the sky dreams of making the world a better place or reporting facts. It's I need a
No.
paycheck, so I'm not
Right.
homeless, and I suck too bad to get on at, XYZ paper, but BuzzFeed will pay me, $10 for 1,000 words, so might as well.
Might as well. Yeah, I don't think
Golly,
they're rolling up. At
No,
any-
I made that up. I hope
any,
it's more than that. I just made up a shitty amount.
Could you imagine?
working
Sorry,
at
go ahead.
BuzzFeed. No. I mean, I could, I guess, if I had to. I mean, I gotta feed.
I'd have quite the time with it. Because
yeah.
at that point, I'm either independently wealthy, or something horrible has happened to everyone I love, and I have nothing to lose. Right?
That's my
Those are-
retirement plan.
That's like the two
You
conditions.
paint quite the bleak future for working at BuzzFeed.
It's my two conditions.
So if I'm, if I've got like 10 months to live, I'll go work at BuzzFeed.
That's another good one. My time is up. I've got stage 4, whatever. I'll try to get on at BuzzFeed and see if I can't pitch some wild ass Florida man story.
Just go out with Florida Man.
Right, that's my legacy.
Or the ideal situation is that you become Florida Man.
Ooh.
And you
Then
could,
I'd have to move to Florida.
you get arrested.
Yeah, Florida
and then,
is a shithole. I agree.
Yeah, then you have to live in Florida.
Where did BuzzFeed kind of fall off? 'Cause I'm not saying they've ever been a bastion of free speech, but what I remember them starting out as is more of like a media gaming thing almost. Like it was like very like lighthearted journalism. It was like about current events. It wasn't they didn't do the number 4 will shock you. Not at the beginning, right? It was more about, hey, there's this just random shit. Nothing was really ever of consequence. They didn't report on the fucking war in Crimea. They were just like, hey, this new game came out. It's pretty fun. And hey, I watched this TV show. And I mean, some people liked it. Because again, it was just lighthearted, random shit. So at some point, they morphed from that into, and obviously the answer is money, because they made more money doing it. But they morphed from that at some point to, the tiered lists that everyone hates them for. And, invasive ads and selling data. It's just kind of, I don't know where that happened, I guess.
Yeah,
I
don't remember. I don't remember looking at BuzzFeed like enough to remember the transition. I just mainly remember when it became so fucking shit. Or I just remember it being shitty. I don't even remember the good times.
I don't remember. There weren't any places. It wasn't I didn't go there to read it top to bottom. I didn't do that with a lot of sites around that time. Like Dig was still a thing because Reddit wasn't really big.
Dig.
There were a couple of
Oh,
sites where I would
man.
go like look at the stories, but most of the time I would just get recommended something from someone to be like, "Hey, go here and look at this," or it'd be linked from somewhere else. Yeah, Dig was a blast from the past.
Yeah.
I think isn't it technically still around? It's just no one uses it.
I've seen the icon.
It's still around. I'm on it right now.
Yeah.
Tara Reid deserves an apology, but she doesn't want one. Guess where this is? This a link to BuzzFeed. Jesus fuck!
They
Dig is
did.
cross-linking to BuzzFeed.
They've become
I couldn't have planned this better. Jesus.
You planned that.
Florida Man becomes CEO of BuzzFeed.
So the top four stories on my, I don't know if Dig is still curated, so D may be seeing the same stories, but I got four stories on my homepage, and then a giant advertisement saying sign in with Twitter. So Tara Reid deserves an apology, but she doesn't want one. Cross link to BuzzFeed. 6 card games to help fight boredom, which is a sponsored promotion. Here's how Tokyo designed their city almost perfectly, and calling Omicron mild is wishful thinking. Those are the four stories on my Dig page right now.
I always like those lists where it's like, or it's like a fucking slideshow, right? Where it's like you know, these Hollywood bombshells, look what they look like now. And it's like
Like badly
it's like
photoshopped pictures.
it's like these actresses and actors that were, you know, attractive, you know, maybe 60 years ago, but now they're old and, you know, like their skin's hanging off and shit. And they're all wrinkled as fuck.
So
And
you mean to
I
tell
mean,
me that years
fuck.
of hard alcohol and drug abuse, coupled with failing plastic surgery and old age, makes you look like shit? Hold on, I gotta call BuzzFeed. I
Like,
gotta
what?
report
Hold
this
up, we got a
right now.
story.
Even the ones that haven't, like, just had, you know, constant drug abuse and alcoholism and, you know, plastic surgery, even those that, well, I picture them as having a pretty, um, I don't know, tame life after, you know, all the Hollywood fame had kind of left them. Um, even the ones like that, I'm like, you know, fuck, man, like they're old. Like
Yeah, it
you
is
start
weird. I know
looking
what
like
you mean.
shit as you age. It's kind of
Yep.
a natural thing that happens. You know, why are we looking at this? Like, look at this old, ugly bag of fucking bones.
People
Next
are
picture.
petty,
See what she
man.
looked like 60
That
years
that's
ago.
that's why we're looking at it because we like people are jealous, right? You're jealous that you don't look like Brad Pitt or whoever, Angelina
Oh, yeah,
Jolie,
you want to see
and
him
and then you see
fail.
them, and then you see them fail, and you're like, "Ha, see, I told him." And it's like,
I
yeah, but
told you.
you will never. What have you accomplished in your life that is like a thousandth of what they've done? It's like it. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
pettiness, you know.
Yeah, and I guess some people see being a major Hollywood star as like I mean, it is an accomplishment, sure, but it's not like you're changing the fucking world.
No, no, but I would still I would find it hard to argue that I would have more of an impact. By impact, I don't necessarily. I don't. I think that's a loaded statement that's probably taken out of context. I just mean impact. I literally mean like the
I
definition
mean,
of it, right?
Hitler was Times Person of the Year in 1930, whatever. So,
I understand, but what I was about to
so there's
say was
impact.
like,
Impact, good, bad, doesn't matter. It's impact.
yeah, right.
They
And
hit
there's
hard.
I'm never gonna come close to any big actor. The impact, right? It's not gonna happen. I don't care. I'm not sad
No,
about that, but it
nobody
is
gonna
it is
remember
what it
me
is.
100 years from now. It's over.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
yeah. Anyways, Florida man claims bag of cocaine and meth wrapped around his penis aren't his.
Someone
Florida
has
man's gonna
come
get a new
in
story.
to my house, strapped a bag of cocaine to my cock, and I didn't even know it. They must have drugged me.
Or maybe his argument will be they forced me to do it.
They held a gun to my head and made me strap cocaine to my cock, and I left it there and left.
Hey, you know what? When you're on meth, I don't know that your cognitive thinking really sticks with you.
My. Poor
Florida
Florida
man
man. I
accused of
pity him.
making sexual advances toward children told cops that he couldn't recall asking to touch them because he normally drinks 18 to 20 beers before he talks to children.
Jesus.
Jesus.
God.
Fuck me. I got dark quick.
Oof. That Florida man, that
Yeah,
iteration needs to, I don't know, we need to get some rope.
Florida man fights off coyote with coffee cup. "Quote unquote, I smashed him."
I
I
smashed him with a
smashed him.
ceramic coffee cup. Good God.
Florida man.
Yeah.
One of was like I fought off a shark with what was it?
Fist.
Probably like that old boy that beat that kangaroo away because it was on his dog.
Oh, I saw that.
He
Punched him in the face.
squared up with him.
Yeah, the kangaroo's like, what? What?
Yeah, it's like, oh shit.
Like, oh shit. I just got punched in the face.
I just got
Sorry.
blasted.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guy. Sorry, dog. Sorry about your dog.
Yeah, everybody's a gangster until they get hit in the face.
Right.
Right, even the kangaroos. Oh man, I come across an interesting. Not to change the subject entirely.
Nah, we can. Florida Man was kind of a shot in the dark.
No, I think it's still funny. It is hilarious. Florida Man's fucking hilarious, but
In the spirit of Florida Man, we'll talk about what we want to talk about. So proceed. We're embodying Florida Man.
we
right
do
now.
what we want.
Yeah.
So there was a phrase that got brought to my attention because apparently, human beings are the only quote unquote animal that has learned to be a lethal thrower. As in, we can pick up a rock, look at a target, throw something, and kill it. Throw the rock and go kill that thing.
We can analyze the target and see what would kill it. You mean, like we can kind of know?
No, actually hit it.
Oh.
Like it's a targeting thing, right? Even on the move, it's like I see you there. You're gonna be here. I'm gonna lead you. Yeet, and I brained you. Now you're dead.
Huh. Yeah, I was gonna say I know monkeys throw stuff at people, but I guess
they throw
guess
stuff, but it's like your 3-year-old throw stuff, right? It's like they might get lucky.
They get lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like no. I'm purposefully leading you, and I'm gonna put this shit right between your eyes. We're the only thing that does that. Nothing else.
It's interesting. I wonder if that's a combination. I mean, it does kind of make you wonder if there are other animals out there that maybe would have the cognitive ability to do that, but they don't have opposable thumbs.
Sucks to suck.
Because I mean, I'm being funny, but opposable thumbs kind of matter, right?
Oh yeah,
grip stuff a lot. So
yeah, opposable thumb is critical to the throwing mechanic.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. I never think about that. And then
I
go
say
through.
That's ever crossed my mind.
I go through my list in my head of all the animals, and I know I've seen this animal throw something, and then I go, well, to what end? Were they throwing it to throw it, or were they just kind of pitching it? I mean, were they trying to kill something? I guess the context here was to throwing something to attack something else efficiently, right? Knowing,
right.
That's how we started with just throwing rocks with our bare hands, and then it was slingshots, and then it was bows and arrows, and now it's rifles. The evolution of weaponry is a thing, but we're the only ones that have put it together. Not to say that other animals can't lead things. We've all seen animals chase each other, and they obviously understand how to lead something.
Oh yeah, look at birds of prey attacking.
Yeah, I was just about to say a falcon or something. They understand that, but it's the throwing mechanic.
Thank God they don't have
right?
opposable thumbs.
That'd be unreal.
Birds of prey with hands.
Shit at you.
Fuck that, dude.
Dive bombing.
Yeah.
They go pick up like a 7-pound rock.
Jesus.
Yeah,
you're asleep, and they fly down
150 feet up.
You're asleep, and they fly down and tie meth around your dick, and they use
Put
their
syringes
hands
up your rectum.
They use their hands and fingers to call the fucking cops.
They squawk into the receiver, and they're like, rah, rah, rah. The cop goes, "Oh, must be Florida Man."
They just,
I'll be right there.
They get hands, and then they just turn into the biggest fucking dicks ever.
Yeah,
dude, I hate birds.
I mean, I can't say that I'm a fan of them. I think some of them are super cool, but my interactions with them, although they're rare, every time I do have an interaction with one, it's usually annoyance at best.
I can't stand birds. I can't, they're so OP in the animal kingdom. It's not even funny.
Snow, the way you spoke about that just then made it really sound like you've interacted with them in a way that I haven't.
I mean, so what I mean by
Like,
that
have
is
you hung out with them? Have you?
no, we haven't. I've tried. They don't return my calls, so we haven't really been able
Well, there's a
to
good
do a lot
reason
of
for
hanging.
that.
Yeah. So hey, so no, but it's like bird shit or noise, like being noisy or flying around, like just it's just been annoyance. I had pet birds growing up, but I didn't really like them. They're just parakeets, they were okay, but I was always like dogs way better. Obviously, like I think a lot of people would agree. But I've never. I would say that most people's interactions with birds are pretty limited. Like maybe at best you're a bird watcher, so you like go around, catalog them, see them, or you hunt them. And realistically those are the two main ways people would interact with them, right? It's just being a bird watcher or hunting.
I think owls. If I had to
Oh,
pick a
owls
bird
are
of
cool.
prey that
Oh,
I really think are cool as fuck
I
are
hate those
owls.
sons of bitch. I can't stand owls.
Why
Yeah, like
not?
their head turning around.
I can't stand owls, dude. Oh my god, I had this fucking shit when I was driving. Right, I'm driving. It's probably 1:30 in the morning, way back in the woods in Alabama, and I'm hauling ass. I was probably going like, this is country roads, right? 35, 40 miles an hour. I'm probably going 70. Hauling ass, I'm hauling ass, I'm hauling ass, and this fucking owl is no, like three of them are in the road, and it was kind of a decent amount of distance whenever my headlights shone on them, and they like all like stood up, like and like straightened out real big. They looked like fucking aliens out there, scared the fuck out of me. I was
You
like,
thought you found a powwow of aliens. You're like,
dude,
oh fuck.
dude, I white smoked the brakes, locked them up. I was scared. I was like, "What is that?" I was screaming. I was like, "What is that?" Finally they all flew off, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a bunch of fucking owls."
He gets
Oh,
his rosary out. He's just reciting
right,
prayers.
our
He didn't
Father in
even know that
heaven,
he
hallowed
knew.
be thy name.
Oh
Oh, it
god.
scared the shit out. I can't stand owls, man. They're just creepy. They got bad vibes, in
Juju.
my opinion.
I mean, they're definitely weird. I think they're pretty badass. Them and if I had to pick like my favorite bird of prey, it would definitely be an owl. Or it's an answer a lot like peregrine falcon, just because they're so fast. The fucking dive
Yeah,
bomb at like what, like
Yeah.
100 miles an hour or some
yeah,
dumb shit.
yeah. I respect the
Yeah.
shit out of them. They're still OP as hell.
Oh
Oh yeah.
Way
yeah.
OP.
They're definitely they're OP for sure.
So what's going to attack a peregrine falcon? A condor? I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's not much it's
some
going to.
some guy from Alabama going 70 down the country road.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Humans, that's about it.
I win unless he's just has like a fear of strange birds. Apparently, then you got the bluff on him. Just make noise and he'll run away.
I've never seen owls just hanging out on the fucking road though.
Dude, I hadn't either. That's the first and only time in my life I've ever seen.
They had to be eating like a carcass or
Oh yeah,
something.
they would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they was working on a dead possum or a skunk or something. Absolutely, they were.
That's fucked up that they just
Dude,
they just
it was.
like bowed up. They're just
They
like
did. They
nah,
seen me
bitch.
coming. They seen me as soon as my lights shone on. They all turned and like straightened up as long as they could. And
Man, they're like, look, hey, Steve, look at him. There's three of us and one of him. Steve, don't you leave. I swear to Christ, if
we
you
got
leave,
this.
you're not getting
Yeah.
any of this.
Don't puss
Don't be-
out on me,
yeah.
Steve.
Don't be pussy.
Dude, it was just so what? I was alone, and no one remembers that but me. I was just like, man, I wish my brother was here. Somebody that can corroborate the story.
I fully believe the story, and
I don't know.
they look weird, man. I mean, I think that's cool, but like they look weird, and they can sound weird. I mean, they obviously there's the hooing that everybody knows, but there was one time it was here where we live, and I was walking around, walking my dog, as a year ago maybe, and I thought it was a coyote, like it because it wasn't a howl. It kind of sounded like a little bark kind of sound or like a hooing, but like more like a howl, just not long and drawn out. That's what I'm trying to say. And then my wife was like, "Nope, that's an owl." Sure as shit, we saw some like flapping or whatever, but it sounded
They'll
weird.
do a whoo wah whoo wah. They'll do that one, and they got, or at least the owls down here, like I don't know. I can't remember if they're barn owls or.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind this was. I didn't get a. I wouldn't know if I saw him, but I didn't get a
They'll
good
do
look
another
at him.
noise like wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
They'll
I've
do one
heard
like
that.
That's
It's
probably
like,
what
is
what
that?
it was.
Normally, what I hear
D
is
doing
like
his
the
owl calls.
hoo 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 hoo.
Yeah, it's like
That
every
didn't
movie
sound
has
anything
that.
like
And I've
an
never
owl,
heard
but-
that owl before.
I've
What?
heard that. So I hear that here when we sleep. Yeah, no
Really?
joke. Like kind of regularly. Yeah,
Right next to your bed.
yeah. It's looking at me. Its head just turns around.
God, dude, I'd burn that whole fucking apartment complex down.
I would too.
Like, nah, fuck
I'd be
that.
out.
It's
I'd
got to
go
die. Everybody's
Florida
got to
man.
die.
I go Florida
Everybody's got to die because this fucking
That's how
ass in
serial
here.
killers.
Everyone has to
The
die.
the owl could have infested their souls. Everyone must be lined up and summarily executed.
Right.
And
That's
then
probably
their
what
bodies
happened.
burned.
That's probably what happened to a lot of these serial killers. They just had like a bad run in, but some kind of
An
like
owl.
spooky sound. So
Demonic
they just
owls.
decided to kill everybody that could possibly be infected.
Lord. Yeah, I'd go Florida man on that one and just be out in the yard in my underwear with a shotgun and looking for an owl.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I mean, that's pretty close to Florida Man. I feel like you need another.
Well, I'd do some meth
Yeah.
first.
Sure,
Yeah,
there
you
yeah.
have to be on drugs.
Yeah,
I mean, alcohol's okay in a pinch, but you got to
It's
be
okay.
if it's just
Yeah, that's
alcohol,
normie shit. You gotta do some meth or some bath salts or something.
right?
some of that fucking. What's that shit that they have in Europe, and it's like
Crocodile.
Crocodile, yeah.
There you go.
That wild shit from Russia. Oof.
Now you're fucking well.
that
I don't
made
know. That probably
from?
surpassed Florida Man levels.
Yeah, it's a semi-synthetic opioid.
Yeah.
I thought it was made from so it's desomorphine. I thought it was something else. Yeah, that's what crocodile is. That's the street name's crocodile, right? Oh, here we go. So how do you cook it?
Oh, how do you make
Florida
it?
man already knows this.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
because I thought you made it from something natural. It's cut it, but it's made from. So you get codeine, paint thinner, hydrochloric acid, and red phosphorus.
No way.
Yeah, that's the ingredients. Oh
Say it
my
again.
Jesus, fuck. Codeine, which in Russia you can buy over the counter, just the mild version, just codeine. And then paint thinner, hydrochloric acid, and red phosphorus. So the strike pads on matchboxes is a common place to get phosphorus from.
Woof. How do you find that? Is my question. How do you get that
So
combo?
I don't know about this, but legitimately, like on when people learned how to like cut coke and like mass produce it in like the 70s, I guess, 80s, like legitimately some of these like not I can't think of not mafias, mobs, cartels, sorry, like cartels and like organized crime, they legitimately will like pay a chemical engineer, pay a chemist, or pay a pharmacist. Like you got a guy or a woman who gets paid
we're Breaking Bad.
fuck. Well, yeah, but more realistic, right? Like
Well, yeah.
you're like, yeah, you're making 120 grand a year at CVS. I'll pay you $4 million to do this for 6 months. I'm probably gonna kill you, but you don't know that yet.
Yeah, I'm
So,
probably going to
but
kill
yeah,
you.
I mean,
but these
that's-
6 months
and-
are going to be awesome.
Right. So they got someone that's smart that comes up with it, because the hard part's coming up with it. Any ape can make it afterwards. Maybe they kill themselves, maybe they don't. But the people making the drugs are not exactly, smart people, right? It's just what they don't know how to do is come up with the recipe. So you got the smart people make the recipe or figure out how to do it, and it's like, oh, you just do this.
Good Lord.
Yeah, wow. So I'm trying to figure out why they thought why desomorphine was made. So I remember this. It's called Crocodile because long-term abusers of desomorphine, not the actual phosphorus paint thinner shit, but literally even if you use the proper drug, right, but you use it long term, your skin can present as greenish and scaly because it damages your blood vessels. Yeah, but why? Like I'm trying to figure out why it does that. So it's banned in the U.S. Has been since 1936. There's never been an accepted medical use for it. But why? Like I just don't. Oh, oh, you get a better yield. It looks like so when you're making morphine in the synthetic types, you can get a
Right.
high yield of this desomorphine stuff when you're like
Oh
doing it the
God,
right
you're
way.
kidding me.
Yeah, so it's just cheap.
So,
Uh,
man, that's insane. And
Yeah,
it
this
sounds so
is
counterintuitive to, considering who banned it and who was like, no, 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 let's use that.
oh
yeah,
Think
yeah.
it's
about it.
just really
Yes.
really popular in Russia.
Phew.
It's kind of waned apparently. Like it's that height of the epidemic is in the early 2000s.
I hope
Yeah,
so
I
because
remember
I seen that
seeing.
documentary and that
Yeah,
kind of broke my heart for those people. I was like, oh my God,
that shit's rough. Yeah.
that's.
Yeah. Oh, it's apparently for whatever reason, just the actual chemistry of it, it's like more addictive than a lot of other synthetic morphines. And so, yeah, I mean, I can. It is kind of sad. Like my my sympathy for people that abuse drugs, if they're just if they have an addiction and they're doing their own thing to themselves, I usually have a lot of sympathy for them. It ends when you start hurting other people, like you're robbing somebody, you're hurting somebody. That okay, fuck you at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I mean, if you're at that level though, like it's like you're locked in, man. You're locked in.
yeah,
Like it's hard to let go. From, I mean, I don't know personally, but man, I've watched a lot of this YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly, which they
yeah.
have.
So I think
Yeah,
he's fake. I've seen that guy. So
you think he's
proceed.
fake?
I
Uh oh.
Of
no,
course you.
no. I want to talk about it. Keep going.
So I think that the stories that they share are, I mean, not. I don't want to say they're good stories. They're mostly tragic stories.
They're raw though.
Yeah, they're raw.
I'm trying to find. So I found him on YouTube, maybe the same way you did. Like YouTube, literally randomly one day was like, "Hey, watch this," and
Yeah, yeah,
it was one
it's
of
really
his.
random.
It wasn't heroin. It was what's that drug? Fentanyl. It was a fentanyl
Fentanyl.
addict.
Yeah.
Oof.
It was this guy.
Fucking with a
He
big
was
boy.
talking. Yeah, and he was talking about well. So one of the things that piqued that made me go was on my own when I was watching it because he was like, yeah, I have to inject every 10 minutes or I get uncontrollable seizures from withdrawals. And I'm like,
Oh, I don't know about
hmm,
that. That's quite
no,
the.
that, I don't know, buddy. Okay, he's a druggie. Doesn't, that's not a reflection on the guy doing the YouTube channel. Okay,
Yeah.
this guy's just lying or whatever. And I'm trying to find the article because I didn't understand how he had all these people who had these crazy stories, but to me, a lot of them seemed kind of controlled, like or not editorialized. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Oh,
not authentic,
yeah,
I
oh, you
guess.
mean like he edited the video or something like that, or
Well, maybe that, or like maybe these people. I'm not saying these people were just paid actors and they're normal people,
oh,
but
I
maybe
see.
they had a story and he was like, okay, well that's not good enough. So I'm paying you for your time. You said you did like a gram of coke a day. Let's say you did 50 grams of coke a day, and that you accidentally killed your daughter. Like that kind of shit. Like editorializing
Right.
it, making it more dramatic.
But they're not all like that though. I
Okay,
mean,
I've not
some
seen
of
any
them
of the ones
are
except the bad ones, honestly.
yeah. I mean, some are pretty tame. Some are just, or some are just poor people. He interviewed some people from Appalachia that
I saw,
have
yeah, the inbreeders.
No,
Oh, I saw
no.
that one.
There is that, but there's also
Oof.
people who are just like poor, just poor
Yeah.
people, right?
Okay.
Nothing really wrong with them. Seem to live, pretty happy lives. They're just poor.
Yeah, I'm so admittedly I've not seen those. The Whitaker family is the one I thought you were talking about. They're the inbreds that he did a story on.
I mean, they're certainly varying levels.
Yeah,
I don't, and because of that, I don't think that he's fake. But I don't know. I don't know really. Some of the stories are certainly a little outrageous. Um,
You're just saying you think he may turn the volume up a little bit on
yeah. Like I said, I
right.
don't think it's 100% fake. I don't think these people are literally they just got out of the Gap working their 9 to 5 and they put on makeup and they come in. Or no, I don't think it's that. I
Well,
just think
no,
that I
no.
think that he plays with their story, but I don't know. Maybe not. Like I said, I kind of just stopped. I just lost interest in him. I've
Well, he
only
is in the
seen the
media,
super.
so that makes him a liar.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. I've only seen the super bad ones, like the fentanyl addict. There was one about a prostitute who was talking about all the times that like her John nearly killed her. I saw
Yeah,
the Whitaker
Ooh.
family one.
yeah.
I mean, if they're
Yeah.
true, if they're all like 100% God's honest truth, they are brutal.
Like one of the interviews was with this guy who was a man. He called himself a hacker, right? And
All right.
man, I can't remember his handle. Um, dang, I can't remember. But anyway, so this guy, um, who when he was speaking, he was obviously intelligent.
Oh, Gummo.
Gummo, yeah,
Yep. Yeah, I saw
and
this one too. Yeah.
yeah, and that was really interesting. And just talked about like how he got into computers because of his childhood and all that, and how he was basically living out of a car for a while, and ended up like just I'm sure he's a millionaire now. The way he talked, anyways. Um, like it's a good story. It's worth listening to. The Snow if you haven't seen it. That's cool.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and just Gummo soft white underbelly, you'll find it.
All right.
Um, he was. I remember this one being pretty interested, um, just because I think this is probably a good counter argument to me what I said about it being faked or like not, I guess built up, or at least it's an example of one that isn't as built up. Because now that I'm looking at it, and there's a quote that I remember now that I read the quote, and he was talking about how he Gummo, that is, talking about how he discovered computers. Like Ethan was saying, he had like a bad home life or something,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
discovered them, and he said that he liked them because they did what that he told them to do. He had some measure of control. Well, no, he said he had no
No,
control
that
over
makes
anything in his
perfect
life,
sense. That makes
and he's like,
perfect
I
sense,
now
man.
have something. I have something that I can control, and
Right.
it's powerful, and it doesn't hate me, and it doesn't mock me, and it doesn't make fun of me,
Right.
and
Doesn't
I
ask me
can
for
use it.
anything.
Right.
Just,
And that's a much more realistic, because a lot of there's the dime a dozen. Oh, I became a hacker because I
sure.
watched a movie and I wanted to change my school
right. I've
grade.
seen The
Right,
Matrix. Okay.
Right.
right.
Yes, this is. I would say this is a good one. I would watch the personally. I can't remember the. I'm sure there's been many prostitutes. I can't remember her name. I'm trying to find it right now. That was a good one. I thought the fentanyl one was okay, but it was just too overblown. And then Gummo's a good one.
The
It,
thing,
it
so I don't really watch him anymore. The thing that started turning me off was that um, whenever there were a couple of pimps that he would interview, and man, it just uh, it almost seemed like he was just really enjoying it, like really getting into it, and
He's
you know it,
glorifying
it
the pimp life, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like glorifying that lifestyle and what they were doing,
Well, I mean,
and
that's something that's, you know, pretty pervasive in our culture.
Yeah, it is. It is pervasive.
Oh, that's weird. I haven't seen that. That sounds pretty fucked. There's a lot of
Well,
pimp interviews. He's
yeah,
interviewed 4 pimps in the past 3 weeks.
yeah. There's one um there's one repeat interview. Like he's interviewed this individual multiple times. I think his name is Sharp.
Funny.
And he was on there like 3 or 4 times, and like in the last one that I watched, I think they were going to the players' ball or whatever,
No
and
way.
yeah, and the guy doing the interview, whatever his name is was going with him. He was going to go too, and have fun and whatever. And I'm like, do you understand? Do you understand what you're doing? I mean, yes,
Right.
they are people, and I hate that there is a market out there, and if there is a market, you can sell it, right? Um, but
I guess I
I
need to
don't know,
watch these
man.
because I've never really understood the the role of the pimp in this relationship. Is it protection? Is that really what it is?
No, it's abuse and taking them like protection
Control, yeah,
protection from other pimps to steal your product. Yeah, it's they literally view the person as a product, whether it's a woman or
So
male,
it's
right?
not a hey, if your John gets wild, I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna cut his
I
ass up
mean,
and leave him in a
maybe
ditch.
maybe maybe they will. It depends on what they do, right? And it's not for protecting. It's not protecting the woman. It's because you're damaging his
The
merchandise.
product, right? Yeah, right, right.
And
But
and
is
it's
that
and
is
I would
that is that like
and I would
the? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in a lot of times, obviously I've never been one, never known anyone, so I have to take. I'm going off just third hand stories like you are, right? Interviews and stuff like that. But there's plenty of examples of women and men, the prostitutes getting the shit beat out of them by the person
yeah,
they're being pimped to, and the pimp doesn't care. It's like, oh, can you still walk? Like, why the fuck are you complaining to me? You need to make $1,000 more tonight, or I'm really gonna make you hurt. So yeah, there's protection, but it's protection's a very loose word. It's like,
Yeah. See, I'm a fucking stupid ass white guy from BFE, so this isn't something I'm familiar with.
well,
yep,
like I said, I don't have any firsthand knowledge. I'm just
The relationship kind of blows my mind. Honestly, it's like you're doing what now?
well, it's not a
right,
relationship. It's not a relationship in the sense of
No, I
anything.
don't say
I
they
would
care about each other. I'm just saying, it's a relationship. It's like me with my
so
employer, but
right.
way more abusive.
I guess what I've heard is there are some women that I'll say they're probably rare, but there are some women and men that want to be a prostitute, like a street prostitute, not a nice one in a brothel or nice circuit of hotels, literally on the street, right?
Uh huh.
And so they view it as if you can get a pimp with a connection, like a gang, like a lot of times it's a gang member, so he has other people with him.
Uh
And
huh.
if you're on the street at night and you're pimping yourself out, that's kind of a dangerous proposition, right? The people that are going to pick you up to fuck you probably aren't super savory people.
Right.
So, especially if you're a woman and you're getting fucked by men, it's it's better. I guess the thought process would be, if I go through this pimp or through this gang for protection, yeah, they're going to take a cut of the money. Yeah, they're probably going to fuck me too. Yeah, they may beat me, but I'm not going to die because I have this person that these people that are picking me up are going to know about, and they're going to see on the street corner. Or if someone does fuck with me, I tell them, and I'm sure the pimps or the gangs do go beat people up. Like, say you pick up a prostitute because you want one, and you like punch her in the face or something, then yeah, I'm sure there are times where a gang member shows up and like breaks your nose or breaks your arm, and he's like, "Don't fuck with the merchandise." So there is like a deterrent, I guess, but it's it's hard to really know where the benefit is in that because there's no regulation. Obviously, it's hard to get reliable stories too because it's so romanticized, as in like movies and stuff and
Right.
TV.
oh
Like,
yeah,
how do you really know the truth?
Right.
So
right,
I guess we watched Soft White Underbelly, the pimp series.
yeah. You still don't. You're still not going to get the truth there. You get what they are presenting. Right.
But they're editing and then they're cutting it in.
No, no, no. I
Just
I
literally
just
what the
mean
person.
their
Oh,
persona,
okay.
how they present themselves. It's
Yeah.
you know, they're not
Lord
gonna.
mercy.
I haven't watched any video where the pimp is saying that he's laid hands on one of his girls, but I venture to say that can't be true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are you saying that these men are lying?
No, I would
um,
never.
so
What?
I mean, it's yes, that
Yeah,
is that is
it's
what
definitely worth it. I'm trying to find the. I guess
A
YouTube's
pimp's
lost my.
love.
Pimps
Yeah,
love. That's all
never
it
mind.
is.
I
It's
think
the
YouTube's
ism.
lost my my
It's
play history
complicated.
of this guy. I can't find the videos I've watched. I know I've watched videos. It's just been forever.
I
Trying
can
to
only ever
scroll
think
through.
of the pimp from Idiocracy Upgrade. Remember
Oh
that?
wait,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, I do. Here, I'm gonna link it in our chat. You don't have to watch it now, obviously, but these are the two. So there's a heroin addict, this weird like hipster guy. That's a pretty good one. He kind of goes off the rails, but it's pretty good.
Let's see if I've seen
And
this one.
then there's this one. The fentanyl addict is. I'm pretty sure this is the one I'm linked where he starts like, I have to have every 10 minutes or I seize. Okay, guy.
How do
But
you
the
sleep?
right, but the heroin addict one, Matthew, that was a pretty good one. Oh, and here's a
Oh, I've
prostitute
seen this
interview.
thumbnail a gorillion times and I've never clicked on
Yeah,
it. The Gummo guy.
The Gummo, yeah. So yeah,
that
the ones I just
that one
linked,
is good. It's definitely worth a watch for sure.
the Matthew one, the heroin guy.
No, the Gummo one.
Oh, Gummo, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yep, there's play history on Gummo. So I've watched a handful of them.
the ones that I've found that I can reliably say that they are they're pretty accurate are the ones where he's interviewing gang members.
What makes
Hmm.
you think they're more accurate than the other ones?
It just seems like they are like laying stuff out on the table. Um, asking about like their childhood and everything and how they got into the gang and all that, and it just sounds like they're not trying to hide anything.
Okay, I
Hmm.
mean maybe.
You know, the I guess the same probably goes for um most of the drug addicts that he interviews on there.
I mean, I've
And
definitely not seen. I will say that I've not seen a drug interview or drug addict interview where they try to downplay it. That's for sure. It's not the I don't really have a problem. I mean, I've never heard anyone on his channel say that.
well,
Like
no,
They're usually
they're
pretty
all
open
very
about it.
yeah, they're very aware.
Yeah. Even the ones I know personally are like, oh, yeah, man. We
You
did
know,
so much coke that night. It's like, I shot heroin. We did meth. Oh, shit. Really? Yeah. Hell yeah. Wow. Been in jail like 3 times. Yeah, they got rough stories. Too rough for
yeah,
me.
they're rough. They're rough for sure. The ones, oh man, he interviewed this guy who lived in the Appalachia, and he was telling a story. It was an older guy, and he was telling a story how he had a pet fox, right?
Yeah.
And he was interviewing him outside. It wasn't in the studio, and it was getting near fall, or fall was just beginning, and he was telling the story about the fox, and um, you could tell that the guy really cared about that fox, and
Yeah.
I suspect that he had it as a pet for a long time. And when he talked about the fox dying, like like a big gust of wind came and all these leaves started falling behind the guy, and it was like I don't know, it was perfect. It was
Tore
really
his ass
cool.
up, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was cool to see.
We get attached to
There
our
was
pets,
one I
man.
was going to share with you guys, and It was pretty good. I mean, if you just if you just want to go out and be, depressed, um, you can watch some of these. Um, oh, I don't want to say depressed. For me, it made me feel more empathetic towards, you know, people not certainly not as fortunate as I am.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to see these people as nothing. And like I said, I got my own system of when you start fucking with other people, hurting people, killing people, obviously manipulating people, sympathy dries up quickly. But sometimes it's life can really snowball on you, right? You can literally make one bad decision,
One
and
bad
it's not
decision.
it doesn't excuse it. It's not like, okay, well, you get a pass and everyone should grovel and give you what you want the rest of your life, but it really can be simple. One decision can snowball and set you back years or decades.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got our entire society that usually that decision, it's like our entire culture says, nope, don't do that. And that's
Yeah,
all through
yeah,
your parents probably told you that. Likely. It's not making judgments here, but likely somebody in your life that loved you told you, hey, if you ever get addressed with this, the answer is no. And then you probably seen a public program at school that said, hey, if you ever get addressed, don't do this, leave it alone. And then it was preached to you over and over and over, don't fucking do it. And then you got approached with it and you did it.
yeah. It's their fault.
So,
I'm not absolving them of any responsibility. It's just I have empathy for them. That's all.
Right.
yeah.
It's
Let's
it's it's
say
on them.
let's say for instance that um I don't know. I'm driving down the road and I decide to go left instead of right for whatever reason. I decide to take a different road.
Were you
That
told 50 times not to go left?
no. This is like when I am turning, it probably makes no difference in the world. Maybe I save 4 minutes, to getting to my destination. But since I went that way,
Mm-hmm.
I get in a car wreck,
Oh, okay, yeah.
paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah, that kind of shit, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily talking about just, making the choice on that strange occasion where I have an opportunity to inject heroin into my body, saying yes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just like any decision could put you in a situation where you feel helpless and hopeless, and you know
I
everything
mean,
is taken from you, your hopes and dreams, and you're left with nothing.
yeah, RNG's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real
It's
thing.
just like, yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it just, it was your time.
It was your
It was
time.
just your fucking time, dude. And, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
Um, but there's no getting around it.
yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
That's true. That's true, man. But yeah, for sure. Like I like I've said, watching these videos made me feel like, man, I've really got it good. You know, had it
Yep,
good from the beginning, for sure.
agree
I've
with
never
that.
really been faced with a choice of, selling my body or being hungry. And
Oof.
I'm certainly not saying that all the girls um are faced with that or were faced with that, but some of them it seems like that was their only option.
Yeah. Yeah, it breaks your
Yeah,
heart.
Yeah.
there definitely are some times where that, like you said, that is. I mean, you could always try to war game it and try to find a flaw and say, well, they could have done this instead of this. But there are legitimate reasons why that happens, and it sucks.
Oh,
But
sure.
life ain't fair.
Yeah.
Nope. Not even close.
Man, I remember going to a conference, and me and a mutual friend of ours, we were sitting at a bar, and this gentleman who claimed that he invented Agile was sitting at the bar too. You ever heard of Agile, right? Agile methodology.
I assume you mean the development, like the software development paradigm,
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this old codger's sitting there. He's probably in his 60s, maybe late 50s, something like that. A little overweight, and he's sitting there by himself, and we're just sitting there together, shooting the shit. And he all of a sudden, leans over and starts talking to us. And somehow or another, the conversation has turned into him telling us about his girlfriend. And he's like showing us pictures of his girlfriend, and she's, scantily clad or straight up nude in a couple of them. Like there was one where they were both in it. They had their clothes on, but it was like they were, taking a selfie together, right?
Was it shoot? Do you think, or
what's that?
You think it was photoshopped, or
no? If it was photoshopped, it was damn good. But
travel.
But yeah, he was, telling us about her and everything, and the more he talked about her, the more I started thinking that she was a prostitute. And sure enough, like towards the end of the conversation, he's like, yeah, I mean, I take care of her, I pay her rent and everything. And, I mean, she always, she doesn't charge me anything, so it's like, we've got this like special relationship. And I'm like, wait, thinking like you're saying she doesn't charge you anything, but you're paying her rent. I'm like, if you stop paying her rent, I guarantee you she's going to charge you something.
Yeah.
And it was just so bizarre because I'd never met anyone like that was in that situation, and at the onset, just looking at him, it looks like a regular dude, but he's married and he's got this prostitute girlfriend who, and he said, we have this, understanding and everything, and, she's only going to see me and all this other stuff. And, I'm thinking, sure, buddy, you think that, like, whatever.
She got 4 guys that's quote unquote paying her rent.
Yeah, they're all paying her rent,
out
buddy.
Like a bandit.
Yeah.
Now that's one that I may venture to say that I don't really have any sympathy for, because she's straight up taking advantage of them, much like a pimp would her.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't have any sympathy for her, but it's hard to have sympathy. It's just me, I guess, but for someone, that stupid,
men hardly ever get sympathy in that sort of situation. It's like, man, you gotta be smarter than that. Come on now,
right? Like, come on, dude. You say
no one ever told you
you invented Agile.
It explains Agile a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inventor's naive enough to think a prostitute's his one and only. It's like, right. She's faithful.
Man,
like, oh, okay.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's such a good line. Thank you so much, man. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna bring that up next time I talk to a mutual friend. That's a good.
Be like, you know what? This is why this is so screwed up.
Yeah, this is why.
Remember that old boy at that bar?
You remember the inventor? Yeah, that motherfucker. But he did. He was a speaker there. Sure enough.
No.
Like, yeah. The next day.
No.
The first session that I went to.
That motherfucker's on stage.
He was up there on stage.
Dude.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like he was just a crazy person.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, this got way better.
And he told the story of when they first started doing Agile.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was a long ass time ago.
Oh my God!
So
now, no joke, it really does explain a whole lot about that fucking system.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
Oh God, help me!
Yeah, I couldn't.
Turn.
I can't believe it.
Isn't it?
And and of course, we're sitting there, and I don't know about the guy I was with, but I assumed that he was thinking the same thing that I was that, just shut the fuck up and leave us alone.
Please leave us alone.
Well, you came here just to hang out and shoot the shit, not talk about your fucking prostitute girlfriend.
Oof.
Yeah.
I will say, though, she was fine.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, good. Yeah. You've
Good
made
job,
it.
I guess.
You've made it, friend.
Has he, though?
Has he?
Has he? He had on one of those like fucking gray plaid like golf hats. It's got the button on the front.
Did we just ruin this man's marriage?
Oh, fuck. I don't care.
We don't know.
I'm sure our millions of listeners are going to dox him. I think he'll survive. I think his marriage will survive the test.
Super
before it gets back to us.
It'd be super hilarious
the Chode house test. Let's see if he survives.
It'd be funny if the pod ever blew up and somebody was going through the archives, listening to all of our back episodes and was like, "Oh shit, I know that guy."
Hey, what are our fans called? Do you think, are they Chodites? Like the Luddites,
I was calling them Chodes.
Yeah. The Chodes are going through the Chode archive, listening to the Chode cast.
The Chodalog.
With the Chodalog with their Chode swag on.
Pull this one straight out of the Chodalog.
All right, I think this is a sign. You know what? It's been a fun night. It's been great, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.
Firm handshakes all around. High five.
High five. Yeah, good job, guys. Yeah, okay. Right. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.